Hi. It's been a minute. Hasn't it always? Um, I'm doing the February, March, April update for my little granny squares based off of books that I read. I got really into like crocheting knot these and got burnt out on these. Picked up Hello Kitty Island Adventure, played that until I got burnt out on that. Started playing this game called Blueprints. Finished that one. Well, I like rolled credits on it. There's a bunch of like after the main game like stuff that you can do, and I'm watching people on YouTube do that because it seems like a lot. It's a like puzzle mystery game. So basically I've been doing everything but this and but filming. I took a solid like 2 months off of TikTok as well because I got into reels. I don't know. Anyway, also I got new glasses. They're lilac frames, and I got blue light on them because my eyes are sensitive. And they make this happen when I look at bright light. So it's like fine for me, but then what you're seeing is like cobalt blue across my face. And that's just where we're at. And you're just gonna have to deal with it because I like these glasses. Yeah, I also got anti-glare. A beautiful thing if you have astigmatism. I didn't realize how nice it was. But goddamn, if you got astigmatism, this shit good. Anyway, I will say the blue light makes your world a little yellow because like the outside of the glasses is the blue light, the inside of the glasses, the one that you look through, is a little yellow. I like that because anything bright hurts so much. My eyes aren't built for the sun, okay? They're built for the moon. But if that's gonna bother you, little glasses for 411. So, okay, so I'm doing a combined update. February, March, April. Okay. And here's why. I did read in February and March. February, March. I read one book in April. Hello Kitty had me in a chokehold. So I haven't made the square for that one. We're gonna put that in a different one. Hopefully a May update. I haven't read anything in May. I'm doing other things, okay? But the newest Jujutsu Kaisen volume just came out and the newest Chainsaw Man volume just came out in the English translations. So I do want to read those. But here's the problem. I discovered Shonen Jump, which is a manga app where you can just read the manga online without having the physical book. And that's where I got burnout. I read 9 volumes worth of Dandadan in a week. And I can't be making 9 of these in a week. I just can't. I don't have the attention span for it. So that's what made me get burnout. And now I decided that I'm not necessarily going to include manga in these little squares because I haven't been on Shonen Jump since then because I got a little too zealous about it. Zealous? Whichever. But I will be returning to it, and I do need to know why Gojo is on the front of the newest Jujutsu Kaisen because it's giving that he dies, and I'm really upset if he does. Stress me out. Anyway, so these are my updates, and then we'll go from here. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this now, and then in the end, I'll tell you what I've been working on crochet-wise. Because I have been crocheting a pinky sweater. Book 1. When a Child Kills Abused Children Who Kill Their Parents. This is a book by Paul Mones, who was a lawyer, attorney, I don't know the lingo, something like that, who specifically dealt with children's cases and then got into children who killed their parents cases. And so he talked about, I think it was like 10 or so cases that he worked on where children killed their parents, and he basically goes into why. And it's really upsetting what all happened to those kids. Very upsetting. It is, don't get it twisted, this is on the kid's side. This is 100% on the kid's side. This is not on the parents' side. It's not. Those kids, every last fucking one of them was abused. I wanted to read it because it was used, well, attempted to be used in the Menendez brothers trial against them, because they basically said that they copied what happened in the book in particular cases for their trial. It's very up in the air how true that is. The next book I read was Lavender Speculation. The author is Jamie. Jamie Zachariah, I believe. And I made this cute little square with it. I really like this. Oh, by the way, I was trying to make this one look like blood spatters. Yeah. So I like this one a lot. I like the aesthetic of the square. This is probably one of my favorite squares. This book was supposed to be like sapphic, kind of horror, kind of fantasy, collection of stories, short stories. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. It was bad. I wouldn't recommend it at all. The next book I've read is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. It's part of her Never After series, which is dark romance, Disney villains. And I like this one. I have the special edition of this one, and I have the special edition of book 2, Scarred Ordered. I read that one last year. I really like this one. It got 4 stars because he kidnapped her at one point, and that's not my shit. I like dark romance where they're nice to her. The whole thing with me is they need to be nice to the girl, or I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Because I don't like anything that like romanticizes abuse to your partner. I think that's really fucked up. So didn't like that part. Could have left that part the fuck out, but the rest of it's fine. It was really good. Other than that part. Why are you kidnapping her? Anyway. The next book I read is The Last Apothecary. I also like how this one turned out. So that one, I was doing a little book club moment with my best friend and oldest friend Jenny, who's been on the channel. And so we're reading and annotating a book and then like swapping between each other after we read and annotate it. And the cover's pretty. It's about witches and like women, and it sounds so good. And then it's written like a middle school essay. It's so bad. And I literally saw reviews for this book. We bought it without looking at the reviews, which was the issue. I saw reviews for this book that said this concept with literally any other author would be great. And I 1000% agree. It's a good concept of a book, but the execution is literal trash. Like, it was painful to get through. So there's that. February really wasn't my month for books. Next, I read, it's Demon Slayer, but it's like a spin-off. Well, not spin-off, it's like a prequel to Demon Slayer, where it's like the ideas early on that then led to Demon Slayer. Like the character on the front of this becomes one of the Hashira in Demon Slayer, you know what I'm saying? So I read this. It was good. It was very cool to see where the characters started and where they ended up, like, in the series. Definitely improved. There was nothing where I was like, oh, I wish you would have kept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely improved. So that was good. Also, it's a manga. It's not like a book, it's a manga. So then I read my first monster romance, which is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. I mean, unless you consider vampire monsters, I barely consider them that because A, they're my favorite creature, period. Like, I have a problem with that. Not with that. Like, I have a deep obsession with vampires. But, okay, side note from that. They're so human-like, it's hard for me to be like, monster. Because, like, this is like a dragon human. You know what I'm saying? Vampires look like people except for their fangs. So it's, like, hard for me to be like, monster. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is a dragon humanoid and then a human girl. It's a series by Katie Robert where they're all like monster smut books, but it's different monsters. And I like it. I like the series so far. I've read the first two and they're nice to the girls. God bless. God bless. God. But they're nice to the girls and I appreciate that, and I had a good time with that one. It was very cute. It has breeding in it. Almost all of the ones in the series have breeding in it because that's kind of the point of the series. But the second one does it and I am happy about that. Because ew. I don't like kids. Anyway, so that one I gave 4 stars. Next we have Dandadan 3. I've decided to make all the Dandadan ones of Circle and I have come to regret it because this circle takes way longer than a normal fucking granny square. Anyway, this is Dandadan 3. Love it. Season 2 is about to come out. I'm very hyped. I've read much farther than season 2, which makes me even more hyped because I know what's going to happen. It's great. Then we read Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Volume 2. Love Sailor Moon. Very surprised by how much I love Sailor Moon. But she really is that girl. Though Sailor Mars is my favorite. Sailor Moon's too fucking ditzy. Though her mans can get it. And then this is the last one I read in February. It is Howl's Moving Castle, which is technically a 3-book series. It is what the Studio Ghibli movie is based off of. And let me tell you, the movie's better. That's a rare occurrence, but the movie is in fact better because in the book, he does not turn into a bird creature. And the whole point of that movie is that he turns into a bird creature, which I think makes the whole like romance and stuff much more effective in the movie. If y'all haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle, go do it. It's my favorite Studio Ghibli that I've seen so far. I haven't seen them all. I'm working through them. But Howl's Moving Castle really like got me fucked up, let me tell you. So then we get into my March reads. These were all my February reads. I think it was like 8 books. 9 books. So then we're gonna get into my March reads. So March started off with, I started getting into extreme horror. Again, I've read it before. But extreme horror is like horror, but like more graphic. Like it's worse than Stephen King, I would say. I know he has some real fucked up shit because I've read a lot of Stephen King. I'm trying to work through his whole database, his whole like what repertoire, I guess. He irritates the fuck out of me because I don't like him as a person. He seems like an icky man. But some of his writing's good and some of his writing's absolute trash. And it's so hit or miss, but like the good ones are good enough where I'm like, I kind of want to read it and find out. You know what I'm saying? That's also how I feel about his son. His son goes under the pseudonym Joe Hill. So if you ever see a book by Joe Hill, that is in fact Stephen King's son. And he changed the name to like get away from his dad's like image. But though he writes horror as well, but to each their own. Some of his are good. The ones I've read of his I actually really liked. But except for his collection of short stories that I read, that I have a It's called 20th Century Ghosts, the like collection, and then it became the Black Phone collection when the movie The Black Phone came out, because that's who wrote the short story that it's based off of, was Stephen King's son. And that collection of short stories is literal trash. Not the Black Phone. Black Phone is good, but kind of all the rest of them are trash. And icky man, icky straight men, disgusting grossness. But yeah, that's the preface. I started getting back into extreme horror, so there's gonna be some extreme horror in here that I can't recommend unless you are okay with extreme horror. Check the triggers, like check the content warning, okay? So the first one I read is actually my first DNF of the year. Did not finish her. So I decided with DNFs, I'm gonna do a half triangle and then connect them to make a triangle, and then connect them to make a full square. So I have a little half thing. This one is called No One Rides for Free. I gave it 1 star. I would have given it 0 stars, but then I didn't want people to be like, it's so good I didn't rate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literal garbage. I didn't finish it. And here's why. I did research on this book because I started going deep into the comments. The author, Judith Sonnet, decided to challenge herself to write a like novella in 10 days. 10. That's fucking absurd. And let me tell you, it shows that this was not thought about, planned, proofread, anything. It's a piece of shit. I was on page 46 when I DNF'd, specifically, because exactly nothing happened. Apparently, stuff only happens at the very end, and there's 46 pages of exactly butt fuck nothing, okay? Nothing happened. Nothing horrific. Nothing horror even. There was a guy who like technically kidnapped him, but he's not doing anything. He's just sitting in a car with these like mom and 2 kids. He's just sitting in the car. They're not doing anything for 46 fucking pages. I'm bored out of my goddamn skull. It was disgusting. So then I, of course, looked up the ending because I wasn't about to go through it. And it just turns into torture porn and like incestual torture porn to just like please the guy. And I think only 1 person survives. It was something like that. I'm also not here for just torture porn. Like, there's a lot of like rape and female abuse and horror, and that does suck, but is frankly realistic to the world that we live in. So it doesn't bother me as much because it's seen in a horror aspect, whereas it does bother me in a dark romance aspect because that's romanticizing it. In a horror aspect, it's horrible. No one's romanticizing it. You know what I'm saying? So there's kind of like my distinction. But yeah, it just turns into that. And that's frankly not worth writing, A. And B, why is a woman writing it? Makes me question things a little bit. I'm not saying women can't write like horrific things happening to women. That's not what I'm saying. It's just if your whole thing that makes your book horrible is torture porn of women, how do you feel about women? Just conversation. So yeah, don't fucking read it. Don't even look at it. Don't give it attention. I don't want to read any of her shit because of this. Anyway, so the next one I read, I actually gave 3 stars. Another extreme horror. This one is called 100% Match, and it is by Patrick C. Harrison III. This is also the first book I've read from him. It was very mid. Not like bad, just okay. I don't mind that I read it. It was short, sweet, not sweet. It was short. And it was good. It was a good story. It was an interesting story. I think it had a good ending, but it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything like that. It was just good. And I think the square, I like the square. I rarely do like all these light colors, and like skin tony colors. I really like this square. I think it turned out really nice. So there's that. Then we have another Don Don. This is Don Don 4. Then we have a book that I did give 5 stars, and this is Thigh Gap, or technically hashtag Thigh Gap by Chandler Morrison, which is another extreme horror. And this book has caused me to start reading more of his work because I enjoyed it so much. It is, again, extreme horror. Oh, I didn't tell you what was extreme about this. This is body horror. Like, this guy is disgusting, and he's like putting poop into like the fries and hamburger at the fast food place that he works at. Like, it's very much just like gross body horror. He like has a kid in his basement, but that's like barely talked about. He finds a girl who he thinks he can actually be himself with, and then it turns out that like she makes snuff films, the one that's torture porn, that she makes those and then just like brutally murders. It's good. It was a very satisfying ending for sure. Okay, so Thigh Gap is about anorexia. The whole book is about it. If that is a trigger for you, do not touch this book. It is about a model with anorexia who is seeking to be the thinnest, most beautiful person alive. And it's basically a chronicalization of her downfall and her delusions of like seeing a corpse version of herself, a fat version of herself. By the end, the corpse turns into an angel in her eyes. Like, it's a very good representation of addiction, I think, in my like personal opinion, as someone who has not had anorexia. But I think it's a very good depiction of it, specifically how horrid it is to the person and how badly it just like ruins them and their body and their mind. It's very good, the book. But it is, if you have any feelings about eating disorders, do not read this book. But it's a good book. I gave it 5 stars. So then we have Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon 3, which has Sailor Mars on the cover, which is my favorite. Love her. Very good. So then we have Dead Inside, also by Chandler Morrison. Currently the most fucked up thing I've read by my standards. I gave it 3 stars. I give it like a 3 to a 4. It's the first book he published, and he came out the gate fucking swinging. Shit in here was crazy. It's an interesting book, more so than I would say it is a good book. It's very interesting. It's like necrophilia, pedophilia, cannibalism, all sexual assault, like all sorts of triggers. But the story is interesting. It's about what do you call someone who has necrophilia? Whatever you call that, and then a cannibal. And they like kind of have a romance. It's icky, but it's, if you're into icky things, it's interesting for sure. So then we have this one for Gifted to His Dad, which is a cute novella, like little smut story that has a tinge of incest, but not really. It's like it was very much like the author couldn't decide if she wanted to go there or not, which kind of pissed me off, because like, go there or don't, you know what I'm saying? But it's polyamory. It's 2 males and a female, and basically there's a son who is like college age, and he has a girlfriend, and he brings her to their family's like cabin or whatever for Christmas, and his stepdad is there, but the tea is that his stepdad was only his stepdad for like a very short amount of time before he got divorced from his mother. So they never even like made a relationship or like really interacted with each other at all when he was legally his stepdad. So he's more so just like a dude who is older. And so that's what I mean by she tiptoed around it. And that's what I mean by either do it or don't. I feel like you were trying to write something like more racy and then got cold feet and added in all these fucking technicalities. Also, the two guys aren't gay in the book. But yes, the fuck they are. Like, it's so clear that they want each other, specifically from the son side, from the younger guy's aspect. And then that wasn't a thing either, which seems so weird if you're gonna make it so that the son gets jealous when he walks in on the dad having sex with another woman. Why the fuck are you jealous? You know? Anyway, it was good. It was cute. They're very nice to her. Very happy. End up together. You know, that sort of thing. So then we have Jujutsu Kaisen 25, which is the one right before the one I just got where I said that Gojo was on the cover, and he's freaking me the fuck out because he most likely dies because they only do covers like that when they die. Freaking me the fuck out. Don't like that. Anyway, it's really good. The storyline is coming to a close, but it's really good. So we have Dexter, Dearly Devoted Dexter, which is number 2 of 8. I gave it 2.5 stars because it's trash, frankly. He barely kills anyone, and that's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading it for the lore because I'm doing a series with my husband on my book channel because Dexter is his favorite TV show. He hates the ending, don't get it twisted. Trash. But he knows the TV show really well, and I know the books because I'm reading them. So we're making a cute little combined thing on over there. So I am going to be reading all 8 books of this horrid series. And I really hope they get better, but I've seen reviews and apparently they don't. So there's that. I try to make it look like a blood splatter because he's a blood splatter analyst, you know. Okay, so this is when I went too hard on Shonen Jump and read too many Dan-to-Dans in a day. I tried to start making them. So this is Dandadan 5, Dandadan 6, and Dandadan 7. And these are the last ones that I made. And I don't know if I'm gonna make any more of the manga ones. They're just annoying to make, frankly. I shouldn't have made them a circle, but now I'm dedicated to the bit. So that takes us through March. I think that was 16, I believe. Well, I read 16 total, I believe. This was not 16. What is this? So 11 full squares and then the half square, so 12. And that's where we are. According to Goodreads, I read Dandadan 14 on April 1st, but I feel like that's wrong because I thought I read it in March. Maybe I read it in April. And then I read one more book in April, apparently. No, that's right. April is right. Which is the second book of Katie Roberts' monster series, where it's The Kraken Sacrifice, and I gave that 5 stars. But I haven't made the square for that. So, and then I haven't read anything else. I haven't read anything in the month of May because I've been doing stuff. So what is the stuff that I've been doing? I'm making a granny square bag for my cousin. I made another of the granny square bags that the last video was about. I made another one that's smaller, but I need to sew the lining in. I'm currently sewing the lining into my cousin's bag. to give to her at the end of the month because it's for her birthday. And then I have also started working on a baby blanket because another one of my cousins is pregnant. They're really popping them out over here, and it is gross, but I support her. That sounds so bad, but I support her in what she wants for her life, and that is a child. So I'm also making a baby blanket for her, which I'm most likely going to make its own video. I really like making baby blankets because I like making blankets, and baby blankets are small blankets, so you can just like finish them, and it's really nice. So there's that. So I want to make a video about the bags I'm making. Oh, because I made another, I forgot, I made another bag. That's like a more of a rectangle bag. Yeah, okay. So I want to make a video about the bags and about the lining for the bags. And then I also need to make a video of what all I got at Joann's before they closed, because now I had 2 locations in my area and now they have both officially closed. So about what I got at Joann's, it's a lot of yarn and a lot of fabric. Though I am upset that I missed their super sale, which they do the last week. I went at the beginning of the week and they hadn't started it yet. The super sales, they were taking, like, it's already like 60% off or something, and then it was like take an extra 30% off or take an extra 50% off of the 60%, and that's what I was trying to get, and I went too late. Like, they were selling fabric by the bolt at like half off of half off. I just fucking missed it. I was so pissed off. I went in and there was like 6 bolts of fabric total left. And I was like, wow, this is trash. They had like a few tubs of yarn and it's all shitty yarn that no one wanted. The store was empty. I was so sad. But I did get a bunch of yarn at like 60% off. I did fill up multiple bags of yarn. I did make myself keep to yarn that I would use and not just random yarn, so I am proud of myself for that. But yeah. Okay, this was longer than I wanted it to be.